Hello, it is June 1st and finally the ultimate episode of Adventures in Sci-Fi, brought to you by Pup Pup Productions. Today is the launch and release of The God Factor out through Publishing. Here is a copy of the cover. If you go to the website, you'll see an awfully better cover of it, but this is the printout from my printer. If you order a copy, you'll get it nice and shiny. Here's another version so you can see the front and back. And the cover copy was done by Atomic Fly Studios. I know it reads backwards there, but it's Atomic Fly Studios, Mitchell Bentley. He's the cover artist. It's fantastic, don't you think? That's Monica. She's a protagonist. She's got lots going on in her life. She likes to have a dull, boring life, but it's not going to be dull and boring for very much longer. Anyway, so here we go. I've got, for today's treat, I'm going to read the beginning of The God Factor for you, just to give you a taste, whet your appetite for what's in store if you choose to purchase a copy of my novella at the Sam's Publishing bookstore, sdpbookstore.com. So here you go. It's under storybooks and fiction, and I will put a link down below that goes straight to it. Anyway, so here you go. Give you a little bit of a explanation as to how I got started on the story. I love gospel music and I love sci-fi, and I was trying to write a sci-fi story, and one of my favorite gospel songs, Get in Touch with God, Turn Your Radio On, was in my head over and over and over again. And it's a story I grew up hearing when I was a kid. One of my favorite gospel groups, the Crossroads Quartet, would come through town once a year, and they always sang it, and I had a crush on the bass, and when he sang a certain line, that line would just roll across the floor, and I just loved that song. Anyway, so that song was going through my head while I was trying to write sci-fi. And so this story was born, and here you go. It first started out being called Turn Your Radio On, and I didn't know what to call it, so I called it Get in Touch with ... And then my sister and I went through several suggestions going back and forth, because that just isn't any kind of title for anything. And then finally, the artist came up with a title that he just wanted to use it for a working title, and we all decided, the editor and I and my sister and everybody included, that that was as good as any, and that's how we got the G.O.D. Factor. So here you go. Once again, to give you an idea, the G.O.D. Factor. Here you go, and here's the first part of The God Factor by Rachel B. Olivier. Turn your radio on. Turn your radio on. Monica felt the bass of the old Albert E. Brumley gospel tune reverberate through the floor of the Starship's bridge and up her legs. While the crew of the Benjamin Banneker slept in their stasis chambers, she manned the ship through another 12-hour shift. She liked listening to ancient gospel songs. Singing along to them kept her alert during the eternal night of space. Get in touch with God, turn your radio on. Monica belted out into the empty room, her petite frame belying the strength of her voice. She shoved her wavy brown hair behind her ears as she remembered Belucas calling her music garbage last time they switched shifts. Why do you play that anachronistic crap? Can't I simply like it? If liking it explains how simple you are, sure, Belucas signed off his shift on the console with a flourish. Old technology, radios. Belucas taunted as he strode past on his way off the bridge, glaring at her. Monica shivered under his obsidian stare, then paused to take a breath. Shake it off. He's just trying to get under your skin. Anyway, it's not like you can hear it when you're out. Shut up and go to your stasis chamber, Monica muttered, and stuck her tongue out at the back of Belucas's bald head. I saw that. Monica rolled her eyes and glared at one of the ubiquitous cameras up on the wall. They connected everyone to each other through headsets, which was both helpful and annoying, depending on what you were doing. How do you know that crap isn't insidiously infecting us with those old superstitions you blast all over the ship every time you're on shift? Belucas's voice crackled through Monica's headphones. Maybe it is. Maybe it's infesting your cog-infested gearhead right now, Monica intoned ominously through her mic. A picture flickered on her headset, Belucas showing her what he thought of that particular statement. Monica glowered down at her readings at her station. Better than that machinist junk you listened to, she mumbled down at the console, keying in the coordinates for the next section of space they were surveying. Monica heard Belucas continue his grumbling on the other end as he made his way to the crew chambers, but mostly ignored it. She tried to shake off her anger at the engineer. She'd worked hard at getting past his petty remarks out of her head after they broke up. As Monica stabbed at the controls, she wondered for the nth to the power of the nth time what she had ever seen in Belucas. He was nothing like Captain Mark, who laughed as easily as he commanded respect. Monica felt her cheeks grow warm and wiped at them as if trying to wipe away her sudden carnal thoughts. It had been a long trip. The crew was cleared in the health and psych evaluations to live together in tight quarters, but these long trips surveying further outposts of space got to them in all sorts of ways. So there you go. That's the beginning of the God Factor. Hope you enjoy it, and hope you pick up a copy. This has been the final episode of Adventures in Sci-Fi, brought to you by Sam's Dot Publishing, The God Factor, Putt Putt Productions, and Atomic Fly Studios. So there you go. Anyway, I'll talk to you later.